Despite the Iranians shooting at commercial vessels, we've been able to get a lot of oil and gas out of the Strait of Hormuz through the great work of our military and some of our folks on the commercial side. If we can get enough oil and gas out to give some Americans some ease at the pump, some ease on energy prices, meanwhile, the Iranians are punished for shooting at commercial ships, that just applies a lot of economic pressure to them, and that changes their calculus for, what kind of a deal they want to make.
Here is a theory you probably won't hear anywhere else, certainly not on cable TV. Things may be going better than we think for the Iran war. The U.S. military has reportedly helped transport about 10 million barrels a day through the Strait of Hormuz. Now, that obviously is not anything close to pre-war levels, but it's a major embarrassment to the mullahs. It also begs the question that if we can do that and it's leaking out, what else are we doing in secret? This all comes as President Trump vows economic D-Day, some kind of major economic attack, the most crushing economic operation ever taken against any country. Former Deputy Central Command Commander Admiral Robert Harward and former CIA FBI counter-terror official Phil Mudd. Gents, good to see both of you. Admiral, since you would have been the man tasked with running this just a couple of years ago when you're still at Central Command, we put up a graphic. Essentially what it's been described as some kind of conga line of ships that are escorted on the way in and escorted on the way out with fighter cover over it. We have a graphic for that. How are they doing it, number one? How dangerous is it, and how hard is it to continue?
Well, let's go back to your opening comment. The war may be doing better than we thought. For those who have been watching Iran all their lives, Iran's on their ass. After 47 years, we've flipped the coin on them. We've taken out most of their military. We've shut down a lot of their ability to fund their surrogates. We're moving oils, and we're financially absolutely destroying them. So time is on our hands. And if we're getting this oil through enough to at least stabilize the world market and keep oil prices they're on, time is our hand till they just collapse from within. There's no doubt about it. So you have to applaud where we are today. And you're right. What else is going on? What is going to change the dynamics internal to Iran? And when you can't pay your military, when you can't keep the lights on, where people can't drive their cars because they're out of fuel, that sure drives the internal pressure on the government like never we've seen before. And I would add to all this, this is no longer about negotiations, getting a deal. This is capitulation. They're either going to recognize the straits as international waterways, they're going to hand over their highly enriched uranium and declare they're not pursuing a nuclear weapon, or we're not going to stop. Time is on the president's hands, and we've got them right where we want them.
Phil, something interesting about this story leaked out in a pretty clear way. Barak Ravid, the guy who wrote the article for Axios, is certainly well sourced, but the level of detail he had suggests that the United States in some way wanted this out there. They wanted the details. They wanted to rub the Iranians' nose in the fact that we're doing this. Why? And what does the Iranians take from that?
I mean, my career, Leland, was looking at the world from the adversary's perspective. That's the Iranians' perspective. Let me give you two views on that, which I think are going to be a lot different than what an American perspective would be. Number one, the initial American objectives were destroy missiles, destroy nuclear, destroy leadership. I'm not sure we've succeeded in any category, especially if you're looking long-term at the capability of Iran to rebuild missiles, to rebuild nukes, if we don't want to bomb again, and to rebuild a leadership that may be even more conservative than the previous leadership. So from an Iranian perspective, the objectives weren't met. Number two, oil in the Strait of Hormuz. The president a couple of days ago threatened Oman. Oman is the country directly across the strait from Iran. That's because Iran is negotiating with Oman about reopening the strait, an agreement between the two of them. Who's out of that agreement? The Americans. So I think if you're an Iranian, you're looking at this saying, the objectives weren't met, and we may have some control over the strait with the country across the strait and without the Americans. Not that bad from the Iranians' perspective, Leland, not that bad.
Admiral, take us through this operation at night. You've got this conga line. The U.S. Navy escorting shipping goes all the way back to World War I and then to World War II, protecting from the German U-boats and the wolf packs. How long can this continue to go on? We did it in the tanker wars, but at some point there's an awful lot of U.S. military assets sitting there that are not able to take on or blunt Vladimir Putin, and they're certainly not able to keep the Chinese from creating mischief in the South China Sea.
Leland, we can do this forever. Look, every year we decide we allocate resources, be it ships, be it aircraft carriers, be it fighters, even ground forces, to each theater, with the top three being EUCOM, PACOM, and CENTCOM. PACOM has always been on the top of that list. They've got the bulk of those assets. So if you're prioritizing Iran now, you can allocate those resources to CENTCOM for as long as you want to. And you can rebalance that and reevaluate it every year. But this is something the military does persistently. We have about 1.2 million deployable assets that every year we negotiate where they go. So all we have to do in this case is prioritize Iran over China, which I think is an appropriate strategy. We've never done that before. CENTCOM was always the third tier. They really didn't get much assets. Understanding how important Iran is to both China, to Russia, and to the Islamic Revolution and the impact that has on our Gulf partners and Europe, it's time to prioritize Iran and the Middle East and ensure those assets are there for infinitum. We always, prior to the
Phil,
Obama...
I got to give Phil the last word here, and I want to bring in, because the world is seeing what the U.S. is doing. The United Arab Emirates is suspending trade with Iran after coming under renewed missile fire. Phil, your point is well taken, that the Iranians view simply living to fight another day and continue the religious war is a victory. But the fact that the rest of the Middle East is realigning with the United States and with Israel against Iran, the fact that oil is getting through and that the Iranians are publicly embarrassed, that does put them in a weaker position, does it not?
Not from my perspective. You're assuming that history is linear. If you're in Russia 5 years ago, you might have said the Americans are against us. We're not. If you're in North Korea, you might have said the Iranians are with the South Koreans. The president has suggested we're not. We might be thinking that we're forever in the Persian Gulf until China makes a move in the South China Sea. One of the issues here is not just what's happening with the UAE. One of the issues is the Americans with a global power reach, their ability to retain focus on the Strait of Hormuz. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. We've got a $40 trillion debt, China, North Korea, Russia. I don't buy it, Leland.
Well, that's why we keep having both of you guys back. Thoughtful perspectives from years, decades of service in dangerous places to this country. Thank you both, gentlemen. Good to see you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.